Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and for once, I'm on the same side as Angela Rayner. The rumours are swirling all round Westminster that Rachel Reeves is about to propose the biggest tax raid in history. Not only a massive uplift in taxes, but a massive cut in services. 20% cut in spending and a massive 40 billion tax uplift. Nobody knows what's going to happen. It's going to fail. It's going to be disastrous. And there's a lot of people in the party who are dead set against it, who are very angry about this. One of them, amongst many, is Angela Rayner. Now, people are talking, some being named, some not being named, but they're all saying the same thing. They are desperately worried about the perceptions of what's going on. Because what's going to be happening is people will find themselves paying much more tax and yet given far less in return. And why? We know for a fact there was no £20 billion black hole. What do they need this massive uplift for? What do they need all the money for? There's nothing that they can say that would cost this much. What have they got planned? Or is it just, as I've maintained all along, keep them poor, tax them till the pipsqueak, tax them until they are too poor to fight back? Then we can control them, herd them, cattle them into their 15-minute ghettos, remove their cars, remove their phones, remove their power, keep them hungry, and they'll just become complacent little animals that we can push around at our whim. That seems to be the plan. That seems to be what they're doing. And of course, when you've got a communist like Keir Starmer running the show, that seems all too realistic. Either that, or they just literally cannot see what they're doing. They cannot see the overall picture. They don't understand the repercussions. Because for them, the consequences of their actions are imperceptible. But consequences there most certainly will be. Now, there's a lot of the departments are absolutely livid with the massive cuts coming their way. There's still extensive negotiations going. People are fearful for their jobs. It's almost unheard of for civil servants to be fired en masse, but even that now looks like it may well be going on, in which case there's going to be massive strikes all across the public sector. And of course, when taxes go up and people are poorer, they're going to need more money, which means pay rises, which means companies having to pay more. The only way they can afford that is to put the prices up, which makes them uncompetitive with foreign companies. It's yet again a sure way of destroying our industries. I'm pretty sure Rachel Reeves sees this and knows it. Not for nothing was she fired from the Bank of England for being useless. But this time, she's using that uselessness as a weapon against us. Now, if you're trying to avoid these implied cuts, when you're heading your department, you can't do that without either accepting some cuts or accepting that taxes are going up. And either way, they know it's disastrous. I can only assume it's on purpose. I cannot believe even Rachel Reeves cannot see the actions. Now, there are allegedly some protected budgets, as in they're not going to get cut by much. Health, defence, things like that, policing. But what of everything else? There are rumours that they're actually sending people from the jobs department, the Department of Employment and Pensions and that. They're sending them into mental health units to assess mentally ill people to see if they can get them back to work. I think there's enough mentally ill people working. Unfortunately, they're all Labour MPs. Perhaps we shouldn't be encouraging this. But things like the Home Office, Justice, Transport, all these non-essential, if you will, departments are all going to get massive cuts to their budget. This will mean firings. This will mean reduction of services. You just can't imagine what's going to happen. It's going to be a massive winter of discontent. And it's good that we get the winter of discontent out first. Because we need mass action. And not just by unions going out on strike. We, the public, must strike in our own way. We must hold them to account and make sure they know. Every pub landlord needs to bar all Labour MPs. Every restaurant must stop Labour MPs from going in. It's little things. Let's ruin their lives like they are going to ruin ours. Let's stop doing the services for them. Let them taste the bitterness of their own poison. Because, boy, are they trying to poison us. Now, a senior Treasury source has said that the ministers have not understood the scale of the challenge, apparently. Reeves certainly hasn't got a clue what she's doing. She is out of her depth by a long, long way. This is a woman who has never had the level of authority and control that running this department needs. It's a woman in the deep end, unable to understand what she's doing, and yet doing it from some kind of misguided ideal or political ideology that she thinks is beneficial. Well, when people start dying, you know it is not ideal. But it's up to the unions, I think. At this time, Labour has to sort out its own problems. And the unions have got to get onto this. And they've got to get onto it very, very quickly. They've got to target it. They've got to act. They've got to make sure that all the MPs know that they're in trouble. Now, unions often pay for MPs. They give them money, they give them funds and so forth. The unions need to withhold every single penny from Labour. Bankrupt Labour, if needs be, just to make the point that we, the people, are more important than Labour's outdated communist ideology. And we are a progressive modern nation. We should not be hungry, we should not be short on energy, and we should not be driven into misery and poverty because of joyless bastards like Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves. Now is the time. Now is the place. And if we all work together, we can do it. But boy, do we have to work together. Thanks very much. Till next time, goodbye.